Their work included a physical exam, review of all available records and materials, and pathology and toxicology reports. That work concluded this week as the autopsy report was finalized yesterday.
That was Erie County Health Commissioner Gail Burstein, who provided new details into the death of a refugee who died in Buffalo back in February. And tonight, confusion remains after the Erie County Medical Examiner's Office ruled the manner of Nurul Amin Shah Alam's death was a homicide, but the cause was determined to be medical in nature. Good evening, I'm Mary Alice Demler.
And hello everyone, I'm Scott Levin. That homicide designation doesn't place any legal blame, but it does raise new questions about accountability. More than a month after the body of Nurul Amin Shah Alam was found on Perry Street, the Erie County Medical Examiner is revealing both the cause and the manner of his death. The cause.
So for the cause of death, the medical examiner investigation found it to be complications of a perforated duodenal ulcer precipitated by hypothermia and dehydration.
And the manner.
Homicide, which refers to death resulting from volitional or through a choice or decision or an act of another. And so this includes negligent acts or omissions or inaction.
Shah Alam, a visually impaired refugee, was found dead on February 24th. Just 5 days earlier, he was released from the Erie County Holding Center after a year-long stay and handed over to U.S. Border Patrol agents. Those agents dropped him off at a Black Rock Tim Hortons. It's between that moment and the discovery of his body that officials say his condition deteriorated.
It's not a typical ulcer that we think of from drinking too much coffee or from anything else in our diet or for smoking. This is actually precipitated by our body's physiologic response to severe stress. And that stress was felt to be hypothermia, being in very cold temperatures, and dehydration, so no access to liquids. So what happens in this physiologic response?
Erie County Health Director Dr. Gail Burstein says Shah Alam's death is determined to be a homicide, but made an important clarification.
So the designation of homicide does not imply intent to cause harm or death. The manner of death determinations are neutral. So they're non-legal, and they exist for vital statistic purposes only.
As for who should be held responsible, both Burstein and Erie County Executive Mark Polenkar say that's not for them to decide.
It would have to be a determination of law enforcement agencies such as the district attorney or the AG's office.
Now, both State Attorney General Letitia James and Erie County DA Michael Cain both said that they are investigating Shah Alam's death.
When asked for comment, U.S. Border Patrol pointed us to two ex-posts from the Department of Homeland Security back in February that say in part that Shah Alam's death had nothing to do with Border Patrol, and claiming that when he was dropped off, he showed no signs of distress, mobility issues, or disabilities requiring special assistance.
Meanwhile, today's announcement led to a public demonstration by some who are demanding more transparency into what led up to Shah Alam's death. That includes local Representative Jonathan Rivera, who wants to hear answers from the Erie County Sheriff's Office.
There's a lot of responsibility here, and we believe that the sheriff has responsibility here. The sheriff and his administration has to speak on this issue. They have to speak on how they handle these sort of cases, because we don't believe that this is going to be the last. So I'm calling on Sheriff Garcia, many other people are as well, to appear before the legislature and discuss what's gone on here and what his practices are.
Today, Two on Your Side also spoke with a legal analyst about how any criminal investigations into those Border Patrol agents will likely play out.
The federal government doesn't seem to be helping on these immigration cases, any local agency that's trying to investigate them, but he'll try to get all the information he can. Why was this individual left at a closed store, at a closed restaurant? Why was he left with the clothing that he was wearing that day? What attempts were made to try to find him assistance? But again, beyond a reasonable doubt is a tough standard to meet here. And if he would have died that evening and it was sub-cold weather to 0 degrees or 5 degrees, maybe there's an argument. But 3 or 4 days later, it's hard to say that they should have foreseen it or that they ignored the consequences, even though on a lower level, if it's not reasonable, beyond a reasonable doubt, like a civil lawsuit where it's just by preponderance of the evidence, there would be liability here.
2 on Your Side has covered the situation extensively. You can read more on our website, WGRZ.com.